allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Due to an earlier closed session, item number 2 is our first item tonight, which is citizen concerns. Are there anyone here to speak on an item not already addressed on the agenda? Hearing none. If anyone is listening live, the telephone number to reach us is 712-224-6014 at any time during the meeting. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. I'll move it. Second by DeWitt. Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Items 4 through 7 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 4 is approval of minutes of the September 8th meeting. Item 5 is approval of the claims. Item 6 from juvenile detention is to receive the juvenile detention August population report. Item 7 from human resources includes A, approval of the memorandum of personnel transactions, B, the authorization to initiate the hiring process, and C, approval of an MOU adding a new position to the AFSCME juvenile detention collective bargaining agreement. Are there any questions on these items?
I move approval.
Second the motion by DeWitt. Hearing no other discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. We're not quite to our 4:35 p.m. set time, so move on to item 9, secondary roads. Please, Engineer Mark Nera. Includes A for action. This is approval of plans for project number parents C274.
Good afternoon, Mark Nera, Woodbury County Engineer. The item on the agenda is to replace Bridge C274. This is on Jewell Avenue between 110th and 120th Street. At one of your outreach meetings, I think it was one in Lawton, we had a lady come in concerned about 274 and 278, two bridges on the same road that had part of her land isolated. C278 is almost complete. The precast box has been installed there. We're ready to go with the second bridge now to get that one going. Recommend approval of the plans.
I'll move it. Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Radig. Any other comments on that one, Mark?
Ready to go when, if you guys are. It's an 80-foot by 30-foot continuous concrete slab, so this will be a full bridge rather than a culvert.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. I have 4:34, so I'll call you back up, Mark.
Very good.
We'll move on to our 4:35 p.m. set time, which is item 8A from Board Administration. Item A for action is a public hearing and sale of a property parcel also known as 1523 Nebraska Street. We start out with a public hearing for anyone who'd like to address the board for or against the sale of this property before we receive the bids. Is there anyone to speak for or against the sale? Hearing none, I'll move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Second by Radig. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. We're now ready to receive bids for this property, so if you are interested, please come to the microphone and state your name and address in your opening bid.
Rosalba Origel. My address is 408 Gale Lane, Sasso City, Nebraska.
And your opening bid?
$250.
Did you hear that? 250. 250, thank you. Anyone else interested?
What was the name again? What's your name?
Rosalba, do you want me to spell it?
No.
Going once, going twice. Move the property be sold for $250 to, sorry,
Rosalba.
thank you.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. I have 4:36 p.m., so we'll move ahead to our 4:37 p.m. set time, which is item 8B. This is a public hearing and sale of property parcel, also known as 27 Pearl Street. Public hearing is now open for anyone who would like to speak for or against the sale of this property before we receive bids. Is there any person? Hearing none, I'll move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Passes 5-0. We are now open to receiving bids for this property if anyone interested would like to come and bid on the property.
Brian Crichton, 2522 Nicholas Boulevard. I'm speaking on behalf of my parents at 15 South Pearl Street. $200.
Good. Anyone else? Going once. Going twice. Move the property be sold for $200 to
Second. John and Maria Crichton.
John and Marla Crichton.
Marla. Okay. Oh, sorry. I misread it. Sorry.
I made the motion, second by Potabom. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Now, these two properties just sold for more than my last car repair combined.
You need a better car.
Yeah. That was just, it's the AC unit, you know?
Pretty soon you're talking real money.
Yeah, that's right.
I have 4:38 p.m. We'll move ahead to our 4:39 p.m. set time, which is item 8C, public hearing and sale of property parcel, also known as 320 West 6th Street. Public hearing is now open for anyone who would like to speak for or against the sale of this property. Is there any such person? Hearing none, I'll move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. We're now open to receiving bids on this property. If anyone would like to approach the microphone, state their name and address and their opening bid.
Salvador Palmillas. My address is 518 Market Street. And the open bid is $213.
Very good. Is there anyone else who'd like to bid on this property? Going once, going twice. Move the property be sold for $213 to Mr.
Salvador.
Salvador. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Radig. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
So all three combined is the exact amount I paid for that air compressor and my air conditioning compressor. $663. I could have bought all these three parcels today instead. That's right. Well, because that air conditioning unit's in my wife's car, not mine.
Well, they all thank you, Mr. Radig, for allowing them to buy these pieces of property. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll now move on to item 9B, back with our county engineer. This is approval of contract and bond with Dixon Construction for the replacement of the 200th Street Bridge for $973,940.25, and that the board approves and signs the resolution directing the county engineer to electronically sign the contract and bond.
I recommend approval of the contract and the resolution to allow me to sign the contract on behalf of the board.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Radig, second by DeWitt. Hearing no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
That's all there is to sign on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just you and the auditor.
Moving on to item 10 from the county auditor, includes for action A, approval of the grant application for local government relief fund provided by the CARES Act.
Michelle Scaff, Deputy Auditor. We did complete the application for the CARES Act. The deadline was today, so we're asking for a retroactive action to approve the application process. The grant application was submitted yesterday. We did use 25% of all public safety and public health payroll to justify the expenses. We did come up with the entire amount, which if it is all approved, we should receive $1,307,191. I believe that will be split with public health, of which public health was 19.29%. That will leave the county $1,055,000.
I'll move it.
I'll second the motion by Radig.
On this, is this something where it's to kind of help us fill in our reserves on things that we were down or short? Is that the intention? What is the intention?
It's a reimbursement, and on one of the conference calls, I did ask if there's any criteria for the county to expend that funds, and they said the county can allocate that as they see fit.
It's a one-time, reimbursement.
As a board, can I request maybe we look to Dennis to kind of see which funds, are maybe hit the hardest by the virus the last 6 months, and kind of have some recommendations for what we do with this funding. I don't want it to just be, everybody seeing it as like this candy jar we want to grab into, because I like candy, but I would rather have a plan, just because it's unbudgeted doesn't mean you blow it, so.
Well, in my mind, the default, unless we direct differently, is it would go into the reserves of the different taxing pots. You would say general basic, general sup.
Base, general sup, and rural basic.
And if there's a need for budget amendments, those funds would obviously be used for that. Because again, this is a one-time, it's not an ongoing thing. So I would think that would be the default unless we direct differently.
I agree with that.
The dollars, once we get it, bring it to dollars. I
Yeah.
kind of wrote it down already.
Once we get them.
Yeah, how much, once we get the check in hand.
Yeah.
Especially till November, because we don't even know where all these sales tax numbers are going to be, and I don't know. I've been worried about November for a while, just because that's when we find out all those numbers. So,
I will move the.
but it's already,
you've
It's already just the first one, I believe, since they're separately listed. We're voting on a motion to approve the grant application for local government relief fund provided by the CARES Act. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. I'll move to appoint Deputy Auditor Michelle Scaff as the fiscal representative for Woodbury County.
second.
Second by Radig. Any discussion? Thank you. Let us know how it goes.
I will.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. All right, moving on to item 10C. This is discussion and action on Social Security tax withholding deferment.
So there is, as you've probably heard, a deferment presidential memorandum regarding Social Security tax deferment, and this would be a deferment at the employee level, which is 6.2% of payroll taxes. Our payroll program, Tyler Inco, does have the ability to apply that deferment as of September 18th. I did consult with our external auditor, Williams & Company, and they said there's a lot of unknowns about the deferment and how we would receive those taxes when we start asking for them again in January or whenever that date is. So they advised against opting into the deferment. I also checked with PJ, and he recommended to not do the deferment as well. Did you have anything further on that?
No, the employees are going to have to pay it. And a lot of times, if you just keep doing what we're doing now and they know when the taxes are coming out, it's just easier for them to budget versus having to budget for that bulk figure at the end of the payment period.
And to my knowledge, we haven't had any loss of wages due to the COVID for employees being off work. We've been able to cover them through the, what's it, the EP code called? Yeah, the emergency pay for the COVID.
Yeah. And I totally agree with the recommendation. This is just busy work. If you undertake this, I've dealt with this question a couple other of my jobs, and it's no one's asking for it. It's small potatoes that you eventually have to just pay back, and, and you know. So I'll move to opt out of the Social Security deferment option.
Second.
Second by Potabom.
Out of curiosity, have we had any comment from employees on it?
I've had the question come across my desk about twice. I don't know.
We've had a couple emails just asking what we were going to do.
And it hasn't been a request that they want to do it. They just want to know what we're going to do, if we're going to do it.
It's complicated to explain because half of the, it doesn't help the employer. You understand.
And I think that the employees also, would need to be made aware that this is a deferment. It's not replacing anything.
Yeah, there's nothing in the law that indicates it's not going to be just a deferment at this point. Unlike with the PPP program, it was expected to be forgiven. Everyone knew that was coming. They just had to write rules about it. But yeah.
So what if you defer it and then it's forgiven?
What if?
What if?
I mean, we can only go based on what's law right now. That's how you plan. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11 is reports on committee meetings. Mr. Radig and I just attended the Sioux City Conference Board meeting as the county's representatives. The main action was to reappoint the city assessor to another 6-year term. The deadline for that action was apparently at the end of this month. There were obviously no other applicants to consider. The city entity was effectively a no vote due to a 1 yes, 1 no, and 1 abstention. But it did pass overall with the 3 voting entities. So
I did kind of question how we went about there, if we wanted to vote no and then try to find an assessor in a moment's notice, but that's how it went down.
Well, like I said, there's not many assessors around, and so it was basically a formality. Any other reports on committee meetings? Hearing none. Item 12, any citizen concerns? Andy.
I've got no callers, 8 viewers.
No callers, 8 viewers. 8 is a considerable percentage increase from 7 last week.
Big jump.
It's only a matter of time.
We get to the millions?
Until we get to the 10. Yep. All right. Well, that's good. Item 13, any board concerns? Mr. DeWitt?
I noticed on one of my paychecks the other day that Udabom was on there as far as,
yes.
And I thought I was pretty special until I found out it's on everybody's paycheck.
Yes, yes.
And we have you to thank, Mr. Chairman?
You do. So
okay.
One of the tremendous powers that comes with the crown is executive order to,
Heavy lies the head.
yes, heavy lies the head that wears the crown, is to decide. Originally, I was told we had 20 characters to go by, and then I was told we had 10. And you can't even fit, isn't appreciation more characters than 10? You can't even say anything, so I had to really.
So we're lucky you got you to bomb on there. Right?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no typos.
So you got it?
I got 2 checks, and they both said that. And then when I asked Deputy Auditor Scaff about it, she said, yeah, you're one of the few that's ever mentioned anything about it. But
Oh, man.
apparently, most people are just worried about the numbers on the bottom right corner of the check.
I didn't know you got one. I thought you were not eligible. But,
It depends on who you ask.
like I say, Rocky's a dual citizen, so he's at the sheriff's office now for the bonus purposes. Anyway, yeah, that was a nice way to make it a little bit fun. So, employee morale, I assume, Melissa, is much increased since through the roof. That's great. All right, thank you for that. Any, the public should be aware in full transparency who decided to do that, so I missed that opportunity. I want to come clean. It was me. Any other board concerns? All right, we're adjourned.
So Karen, this means the family must be paying.